Okay guys, I'm back again with another walkthrough for the newly released Chain Challenge. So before I go into it, I want to show you my units. Don't be alarmed by the +10 merge on Olivia. She doesn't actually do much. In fact, I don't think she fights at all. Reinhardt, again, do not be scared of the merges. Reinhardt will do absolutely nothing that you can't do. If you're really having trouble, I suggest you make Reinhardt your summoner support. If you do that, he'll get +2 in every stat, and that'll be analogous to a level 40 +5 Reinhardt. Lucina is a +speed IV, but again it doesn't matter because every fight that I have with her will be applicable for a neutral speed Lucina or masked Marth. Julia is again +speed, but again it doesn't matter. It will have no effect on any of the fights. So let's start. Keep in mind this is a very long video, so you might want to speed up to where you're actually stuck at. But anyways, the first map, the enemies do not move. So this means that we need to initiate the enemies to move by attacking them. And that's actually fairly easy to accomplish by using Reinhardt. And if you do that, you can get a nice quick double kill on Soph and the Lance Cavalier due to Lance Breaker 3. You then essentially complete the map. Again, take your time. There's no real rush. For example, you could use Olivia to tank there. I opt to not do that. Because she's a +10 merge. In this case, my Lucina would double this axe unit. So that's the reason why I didn't attack with Lucina. And I instead opted to use Reinhardt. Because again, I want to make sure that if you're going to try and replicate this, I can try and make it as fair as possible. Because if you are going to replicate this, you're most likely going to use Masked Marth, which has a neutral Lucina stat line. Again, enemies do not move on this map. So we need to tank an enemy. And I opt to tank Micaiah. You might be thinking, okay, I can just attack Soph, kill him, reposition out. Whilst that is possible, if you place the units where I'm tapping, you could literally dance, kill him, and reposition out. But I decided to tank Micaiah because, one, we can prop up Julia with Hone Attack and Spare Attack, and we have the Weapon Triangle advantage. Because even if we do kill Soph, and we reposition out, that Axe Flyer has guidance. And we know that Reinhardt cannot kill Micaiah due to her Tone's effect. So what we want to do is get rid of her. And this is the easiest way of doing that. And not only that, if you might have noticed that when Micaiah darts forwards to attack Julia, the Red Knight doesn't really do much. He's essentially stuck because of Micaiah. And we use that to our advantage. And so now we're going to just blast Soph, and then we're going to back off. Again, I'm using Lucina to tank the X unit. In this case, the X unit has 38 speed. So your speed IV on Lucina will not make a difference. So you can simply kill him and then kill the Green Knight. The third stage is a bit different, because this time the enemies do move when you end your turn. And so what we're going to do is abuse the Weapon Triangle in our favour to make enemies get baited. So for example, what I mean by this is that due to the Green Dragon having a Weapon Triangle advantage over Reinhardt, the Green Dragon will run downwards. And the Red Sword Fighter will run to the left towards Julia. So we're manipulating the AI to get a favourable outcome. So for example, if you wanted, you could potentially place Reinhardt where Julia is, if you wanted, and the green Maniket would dart downwards. But in this case, we're not going to do that. What we want to do is give Julia Horn Attack and double Spur Attack. Along with Threat and Resistance 3, Julia with Horn Attack, double Spur Attack, Death Blow 3, Threat and Res 3, and Ally Support will one-shot this green dragon. You can then clean up the rest of the kills. Your Julia, regardless of your speed IV, you will double Oliver. A neutral speed Julia actually has 26 speed. Oliver has 21. So you will double Oliver regardless of your speed IV, unless you're of course minus speed IV. This map is actually fairly tricky, and there's one thing we're going to have to do before we can actually start this, and that is to turn on the double tap to wait function. And there's a reason for that. Because again, I have a +10 merged Reinhardt. So even with Panic Ploy employed on my Reinhardt, my Reinhardt can still one-shot Zelgius. Now the question is, I don't know if your Reinhardt can do that. So to mitigate that problem, what we're going to do is use a double tap to wait function. Also, I can't simply kill Zelgius and then move Olivia to dance Reinhardt because there's no space to reposition. There's only one option. And so say for example I killed Zelgius. Where I'm currently tapping is where Olivia would be positioned if I repositioned her out. And as you can see, Micaiah and Soph can literally just destroy Olivia or destroy Reinhardt. So what we're going to do is use double tap to wait, kill Zelgius, and then reposition out. By the way, when you double tap and then you dance Reinhardt, that removes Panic Ploy. So that's the reason why we're doing that. Plus we know that Julia can survive Micaiah's attack. And that's the reason why we're repositioning with Julia. So I'm sorry if this is long-winded. I really like giving explanations as to why I'm doing certain actions. This playthrough, or this specific clip of me completing the map, is my actual first attempt at doing it. And I was very... I wasn't really sure of what to do. That's the reason why my gameplay is very slow as compared to the other maps. But there's one note to take from this, is that the green axe flyer is going for Reinhardt. So we're going to manipulate that. Micaiah would normally go for Olivia or Lucina due to the weapon triangle advantage in Micaiah's favor. So we're going to manipulate that. But we're going to manipulate it so that Micaiah will always attack Julia, because we do not want Micaiah to go for our red units. So we need to mitigate that by putting Julia in her attack range. And if you keep repeating this fashion, you can always manipulate Micaiah to a location where Micaiah can only attack Julia. And no one else. Soph can't attack any of your units. The green axe flyer can't attack any of your units. So we keep repeating this function until Micaiah is dead. Obviously this did take some time, as you can see. This is a pretty inefficient method in my opinion. But with double spur attack, we can kill Micaiah. We can then kill Soph. 32 times 2, which is 64. So if you had a summoner support Reinhardt, you would kill Soph. So do keep that in mind. And it's pretty much game, set, and match. So again, sorry for that. That mission was very long. So again, apologies for that. The 5th stage is interesting because you've got a turn limit. But so you need to think about what you're going to do. And because we've procced the Dragon Fang, we're going to use that. And we're going to use that to kill the other green mage. So what we want to do is heal our Julia and move her towards the right hand side of the screen. And you can do that by moving her up once, dancing her, and repositioning via Reinhardt until your battery drains. And then once you plug in your charger, you're good to go. No, but once this is done, you can literally just death blow free Green Tonebreaker, the Green Mage, to death. With the biggest threat out of the way, you can then allow your device to access your videos and photos, which will allow you to then complete this map.
Let's go.
So again, you want to take your time. I mean, there's 4 turns, but it's perfectly doable. Because there's one tidbit of information you may not know. On the final turn, the enemies move. So we're going to use that to our advantage. So for example, here we can kill Leviathan. Very easy. Weapon triangle advantage in our favour. You can opt to kill the bow unit, which would work. But you need to keep in mind the blue dragon might be able to kill Reinhardt. And we're 5 stages in, so we're not going to even try and test that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Reinhardt and then move Reinhardt to the right hand side. Because we now know that the enemies move on the final turn. And because Olivia and Lucina are on the same sort of grid, the blue dragon's going to move down because of course, a weapon triangle advantage. This allows us to then blast the bow fighter into the moon. Again, with moon bow, you will kill the bow fighter regardless of your merges. If you had a summoner support plus attack Reinhardt, you would get the kill on this bow fighter.
Let's go.
So once you kill the bow fighter, you can then simply use Julia to kill this blue dragon. That's also a good reason why I think Julia's better than someone like Nino, is because she gets effective bonus versus dragons. The 6th map is actually pretty simple. You just want to kill this Lance unit, dance and reposition out. Again, you want to use the weapon triangle advantage. I keep saying this, but it's very important. Use the weapon triangle advantage to force the red units down.
Let's go.
This will then allow you to get a double kill with Reinhardt.
Understood.
If you wanted, you could tank with your red sword units, but I opted to not do that. I decided that it would be better if I charged Dragon Fang with Julia. Because when you play a chain challenge, you need to take into account that you're going to be playing many maps. And your specials could be very, very useful. So whenever I can, I charge Dragon Fang. I actually thought it was really funny because this Green Axe unit has 42 defense. And my Julia, which has got a plus 40% damage bonus and plus 10 merge, can barely make a dent on him. So here's another tricky map. Again, the enemies do not move if you end your turn. So if you wanted, you could heal up all your units back to max HP. You destroy the first block and then you can attack this thief. You see, the problem here was that I can kill this thief with Reinhardt. As you can see, 23 times 2. But that's very low damage. So again, I thought that if you had a less merged Reinhardt, you might not be able to replicate my actions. So just in case, for those people with a lower merged Reinhardt, we're going to do something else. So I'm just showing you that if you had a high merged Reinhardt, you could kill that ninja on the right hand side. But for the sake of people that don't have that, we're going to do something else. We're going to kill the bow fighter, and then we're going to dance Reinhardt. Not that it matters. But again, we're going to utilize the weapon triangle advantage to our favor. Marissa will run downwards towards Julia, and the Axe Fighter will move down and left towards Reinhardt. Again, this allows us to kill Marissa and then dance Reinhardt out of the way of the ninja, allowing us to attack the green Axe Fighter. We can then back off and finish up the game. Again, I can kill this thief, but you might not be able to. So just in case if you can't kill him, you want to reposition Lucina into the thief, charging Luna, and then kill with Reinhardt. You can then kill the Axe Fighter with Reinhardt, or you could opt to use Olivia. It's really up to you. I decided to use Reinhardt. Stage 8, you may be thinking of using Julia, the tank, this blue cavalier. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but don't. What you want to do is, again, use the weapon triangle advantage to your favor to bait the enemies. You can do that by attacking the green Axe Knight and repositioning. Again, Erica will charge downwards towards Julia. Once this occurs, we again, like in the previous map, just kill her. We can then move Olivia to dance Reinhardt to safety, whilst putting Lucina in the safe spot, and then tanking the blue cavalier. Again, keep in mind that Julia does have Dragon Fang, Horn Attack, and Spur Attack. So, say for example, if you couldn't kill the blue cavalier, you could literally just attack her right now and delay finishing the map by like an extra turn. It's okay. You know, there's room for error. Again, we're going to charge Dragon Fang on Julia and finish the map. So, yeah. The 9th map is actually pretty simple, because again we have Julia. Julia allows us to get extra damage against dragons, and this map has 2 dragons on it. So because we've pre-charged our Dragon Fang in the previous map, we can one-shot the blue Maniquette with the double advantage, weapon triangle and an effectiveness bonus, and then we can death blow free Dragon Fang Mir to get an instant kill. You don't have to reposition Olivia out of the way, because she could easily fight off that green axe unit because she has triangle adept free. But again, this is for the people that doesn't have a level 40 plus 10 merged Olivia. So again, I'm trying to factor in that your Olivia might be 4 stars, for example.
Let's go.
Just back off. Again, you want to. I keep saying this. You're going to use the weapon triangle advantage to get what you want. And you can then kill the red flyer. Just on the off chance if you can't kill the red flyer, which may not be possible, that's fine, because you can dance Reinhardt and attack a second time. So let's pretend that Reinhardt couldn't kill the red flyer. So I've double tapped Reinhardt to show that you would attack the red flyer a second time.
Understood. Let's go.
Of course. Okay.
And then again, we want to proc the Dragon Fang. Instead of using Reinhardt or whoever else, we're going to proc Dragon Fang by using Julia. Again, think of the future maps you have to play. You have to play strategic. So the final map is a defense, defense sort of turn where you have to survive. I always found giving Julia Horn Attack, not that it matters, and putting her on the left and the red units on the right. This will force the Lance Cavalier to charge up like an animal.
Understood.
Like a horse. And then the green mage, which spawns on the bottom left, will be baited towards you. Keep in mind that because I've placed Julia on the left, the red sword flyer will move upwards, which is what we want because we can easily kill him. Also, notice how I've put Lucina in the range of this horse. Regardless of your Lucina speed IV, you will double the green horse and kill him with Luna. Also notice how I'm dancing Reinhardt and putting him out of the way of Loki's gravity ploy. If you're in a cardinal direction from Loki and you have lower HP, so lower than 67 HP, which you're most likely going to have, you're going to get gravity. So it's best if you dance Reinhardt out of the way. With Green Tonebreaker, you will be able to tank the Green Mage. And now you've pretty much won the map. All you need to do is kill this final horse and then retreat. Keep in mind, due to Julia's very tanky nature, she is still in the Green Tonebreaker range. This essentially means that this Green Mage, I'm not sure what speed he has, I believe it's 38, he cannot double Julia, due to Julia still being in the threshold for Green Tonebreaker. And you literally just have to play a game of attrition and turtle until you win. So here, for example, I reposition Julia to safety and back off. And now the Green Mage can't kill anyone. He has 3 targets to choose. He can't kill Julia because Julia has Green Tonebreaker active, so the Green Mage can't double her. Olivia has a Tranquil Depth 3, so it's pretty much safe. And Lucina is very fast, so she won't get doubled. Not even by this Green Mage, because a neutral Lucina would have like 36 speed, and this Green Mage has, say for example, 38. So this Green Mage cannot double any of your units, and therefore, because this Green Mage can't kill anyone, you pretty much win. I mean, your units can die, it doesn't matter. But in my playthroughs, I like doing it deathless. So in this case, none of my units died. And that's pretty much it. So, sorry for the long video. I'm sure you're tired of my voice, but I've got a few more things to just add on. The first thing is, you don't necessarily have to use the units I'm using. It's mainly for reference. Like I said, if you're struggling, put some of the support on Reinhardt. If you really wanted to try hard, you could give Julia Divine Naga. You could put a Sacred Seal like Quick Riposte on Julia. You know, to make them battles with Micaiah a lot easier. There's so many things you can do to mitigate the difficulty in this chain challenge. For example, to make this more approachable, I removed my refinement on Olivia, and so for example I removed it and I put on Wings of Mercy 2, because I know not all people might have Wings of Mercy 3. So these are hindrances that I've applied to myself to make it easier for you guys. So for example, you might want to use Masked Marth, because there's lots of copies of her. You could easily use her as like a stronger version of Lucina. In my case, I could have used Daedra. As you can see, the stat difference between both of them is huge, with Daedra having an effective resistance of 48 when attacked, and Julia having 34. Of course, the +2 coming from Naga. So I'm saying, my team is not that optimized, yet I'm able to do it. So if you use your broken ass teams, you should be able to go far. Thanks for watching.